we don't really have a list of questions. We have ideas of things that we want to talk about.
What kind of production company is this?
There's no production.
Non-existent.
It's just me and Brandon flying by the seat of our pants at all times. On this episode, we talk and drink homebrew with fellow homebrewer Jackie Boyer. This is episode 53 of the Malting Hour.
What's the hats on the hops? Got yeast and speeds. This the Malting Hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted, where you getting wasted. The Malting Hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your home.
That's who you're playing jazz piano.
That's a lie. Welcome everybody. What a way to start the episode with a blatant lie. It's not. It is true. Brandon was playing piano in there. Welcome everybody to the Malting Hour. Here we are again, another week, which means another interview. Right? That's how this show goes for the most part.
Most of the time.
I'm one of the hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger,
and not featured tonight, Clark Vettridge. He is not joining us tonight, which
thank God.
Well, yeah, thank God. Number one. Number two, sucks for him because we've talked about doing. Well, Brandon, you and I have talked about doing this episode for a while, and our guest, I've invited her on the show a long time ago, and here we are, 2 years later. We're doing another homebrew episode, and by another, we've done homebrews before, but we've never had somebody else's homebrew except for our own on. So I'd like to welcome Jackie Boyer to the Malting Hour. Jackie, thank you for joining us.
Wow, thank you. What a privilege. Nice intro.
It's very kind of you to say. Already tooting our horns. Thanks. No, seriously, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll just get right into it. Jackie, you and I, we've become acquaintances. We're Facebook friends. That says something, right? If you're a Facebook friend with someone these days, that's legit, right?
For the most part. I can ignore you if I want, so there's no real commitment.
Perfect. I mean, most people, I think, base their real life relationships off of Facebook anyway. So it's like, in real life, I have 600 friends. So that's I feel I'm never alone. I always someone to reach out with. I can't talk to Donald Trump. He is indefinitely still blocked from Facebook.
Let's not get into that, please.
Nope, not tonight. That's for after. Just joking.
After a couple beers.
Yeah, sure. So you and I, we met during the Lake Effect Brewing Jeff Park Forward homebrew contest. What was it? Was that 3 years ago? Was that about 2 years? Or was it 2 or 3 years ago? No, it had to be three. It's got to be three because this last year would have been one that didn't happen.
That's right.
So look at that. I've been asking you to come on the show for 3 years, but never actually invited you, and we made it. So you and I, we submitted beers. That was I did 2 beers, I think, that time.
You did.
I was trying to be very ambitious. I'm pretty sure it was a pale ale, and I think it was maybe the first time I did I did the brown ale. I like it.
It was a brown. I remember that.
Yeah, I like you a latte. I did not win anything. But there was like 7 other homebrewers other than us.
No,
right?
there was more. There was
more.
I
was thinking of the next time. Yeah, that time it was.
Yeah,
there was a lot of us at the first one.
Yeah, was that the first year that Jeff Park did this?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember I was in the way back.
Yes, you were, and I was.
You were more in the
side.
front.
Yeah, I was. We were like down the hall from each other. And what were the beers that you had that night? Do you remember?
Well, the guy that was across from me in that same room, I think it was like a Scottish ale of some sort, but it was an English style ale that was really low ABV. What style is that? I don't know. It was like 3.9% or something.
Was it an ESB?
It could have been. Actually, it could have been.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you're right. And then I remember having the white chocolate stout.
Ooh.
And yours, I do remember yours, both of yours.
Because they were terrible.
But I drank. No, I drank a ton of mine though.
Yeah. What did you brew for it? What I forgot.
That was called a Soul Snatcher.
Soul Snatcher.
And that was a Imperial IPA.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember thoroughly enjoying that beer, and apparently everybody else there
Yeah.
enjoyed it as well.
Crowd favorite.
It was the crowd favorite. I believe I voted for yours as the crowd favorite. In fact, I'm pretty sure I had multiple pours of yours. I think I kept walking down and maybe grabbing some or having some secretly snuck back over to me because I was like, ooh,
Yep.
double IPA. I'm all over it. I didn't drink any of my beer. Yeah, it was a crowd favorite. And I thought, no, and this, I am not taking away from the winner of that year. I don't remember who won. I remember it now. That beer was also very good. But I really
It was a Pilsner or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And that was the big
hey, comes full circle.
Look at that. And here we are.
Yeah.
I was really pulling for you to win that one. Like, and I thought as a crowd favorite, that would have made sense. Like all of us liked it. But oh well, you keep moving on. And then the year after that, you weren't able to attend.
That's right. I had my mule.
I don't know if they'd appreciate that.
No, a guy I work with, he was gracious enough to pour, and I made a Schwartz beer.
Yeah, that was also very, very, very tasty. And I think you and I, when I found out the results, you and I think we're up there pretty I did not. Again,
I don't know anything of the results. I was working. I was at my brother's wedding. That's why I didn't. So that's what it was. Yeah.
Look at that. Real
doing important things.
Yeah, real home brewer at heart. Look, I'm coming to your wedding, but I do have a beer in competition right now.
Excuse me while I'm on my phone.
It's kind of a big night all around. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I remember us talking the first night, the time that we met. That's when we were actively doing the 212 Brew Club, and I had said, it'd be a lot of fun. You were one of the homebrewers that I talked to the most. There was one other guy who I spoke to, who I actually became friends with on Facebook as well, who I do want to have on the show. He's also he makes some pretty good stuff. I had a sparkling mead from him recently. That was really cool. Really tasty. Yeah, last summer I had it. But yeah, I said, let's get together and brew. Which feels weird to say now, since people haven't seen each other for about a year to get together to do stuff like that. But yeah, we never ended up doing that, and we finally made it here, and I'm really happy because you and I have talked about doing some other beers on the show and sharing beers. You and I have shared beer, a couple beers at least in the past. We have a love for sour beers, which Brandon also has a love for. But you shared with us a very special beer. Why don't you tell us what it is and why it's so special?
Well, it's special because I've never made it before.
That's what I was going with. First timer.
Yeah, I it's seasonal. So when you have a basement, I made it the middle of February, and natural cooling downstairs. So fermenting at 48 degrees, and then gradually lagering it into the beer fridge I have downstairs, about 35, 32 degrees. And I generally don't like Pilsners, but I like the challenge,
Yeah. That's the joy. That's kind of the fun of homebrewing, is to challenge yourself to do stuff. I don't have the patience to make. I've made one lager. I let a lager for a month, and that was it. And now I do like all room temperature lagers or just Kolsch's. So this is close enough.
Here's a question going off, saying you don't like Pilsners. And I think I think about this a lot when people tell me that they brewed something because it's different and it's out of their wheelhouse and it's not something they like. So for this beer, how do you enjoy it not liking Pilsners? I mean, there's some biasness there when it's your own beer.
Yeah, so saying not like Pilsners, no, that's false, because I drink Miller Lite when I'm mowing the lawn.
It's a good lawnmower beer.
It is. It's not that I don't like it. It's just not something like, it's a commitment.
It's not your go-to, yeah.
Yeah, it's not my go-to, and it's a commitment to make 5 gallons of this stuff, And but I've found a lot of friends that really love Pilsners, and so I have some gifts to give for sure. My go-to is generally IPAs, West Coast style. But I do like, again, like I said, I made the Schwartz beer, which is a black roasted lager, and
when you did that one, was that one to do for a challenging yourself, or just
for
one
sure.
because
Yeah.
you, or was it something like also just because you loved it, or just both?
I do in general like it. The first time I ever had a Schwartz beer was at Three Floyds
Oh, nice.
brewery, and they had to take, they're not ever true to style, right? So
Right.
we had it sitting at the bar one time, one of their Schwartz beers, and I liked the roasted malt flavor, and it was cool. It was kind of sweet and malty and balanced, highly carbonated. And I bought one of those Inkbirds, to regulate temperature, and I thought that was fun. I bought it just for this, the Jefferson Park competition, and I haven't used it since. But
Oh wow. I think I overly used the one that I have because I started messing around with the Kvike strains, and so like everything I do now, even now I'm not doing it, I'm like, okay, the temperature of this yeast says, between 64 and 72. I'm going to set this at 68 with the pad that goes around it. That's it. Keeping it just like that. It's just, for me, it was nice to be able to be like, I can control temp.
Yeah. I like to roll it. I like to roll the dice a little bit.
Yeah.
My Inkbird controls the temperature of my chest freezer that now serves as my beer fridge.
Yeah,
that's what I have for my
and actually, so I was lucky. I made room. I was able to throw the keg of Shaggy Tail in there, so at least I'm keeping it at temperature. So
yeah. Side note: Brandon busted his beer fridge. Anyway, so so you're saying Brandon, you had asked, okay, right. Let me go back here. Back it up. You mainly do West Coast IPAs for yourself, right? When you're brewing a beer for yourself, that's the style you like to do. The Schwartz beer was one of the things to challenge yourself. Was that your first attempting at lagering too?
No, actually.
Okay.
Like, oh man, 6-7 years ago.
Actually, wait. How about? Sorry. I just thought. I don't mean to interrupt, but I just thought about that. Let's go back in time. How long have you been brewing for?
So pretty much 9 years now, almost to the date.
Whoa! Congratulations!
Yeah, thanks.
Happy anniversary!
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh shit! I started brew. What year is this? This is 2020.
2011. No, 2012.
Wait, it's 2012.
Yeah.
2012 is when I got my first homebrew kit. 2011 and brewed in 2012. Yeah. So hey, cheers to us. So 9 years.
Yeah,
so you start. What got you into homebrewing?
So,
by the way, it looked like I saw you were about to take a sip, and I'm sorry.
I was. No, it's okay. I could wait. I've already had a few beforehand, so it's fine.
Perfect. Smart.
So one day in 2011, Patty and I decided to move to Napa, California.
Oh,
wine country, right?
Yeah. That's the perfect place to start brewing beer.
Yeah. Well, one gets tired of talking and drinking wine. So what better way to enjoy everything that Napa has for you but to join a brew club with your direct boss at the winery you work at and start making beer.
Awesome.
Yeah. So then I just caught the bug and
Did you just go? So did you go like head first, straight into it, or did you kind of like ease into it? When I say head first, like most of us as home brewers, we start as kits. We buy kits because you're not really sure what's going to happen. How long did you stay with those kits, and were they all extract?
Yeah. So if I plug Northern Brewer, will they send me any gift cards or anything?
Man, we could try it.
Okay.
If they send you stuff, we'd like some as well.
I will share. No, yeah, so I bought a whole kit, glass carboy kit, extract, black IPA.
Good start.
Which was pretty adventurous, I think.
Yeah, that's a good place to start.
Yeah. And I was so impatient though. I kept checking it like every day, looking in the closet. Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, that's the worst part about when you first start brewing is that you don't really realize how much time it takes. You're like, is it ready? I just planted my peppers this past weekend. It's Thursday. And I'm like,
are they ready?
Yeah, like I know they're not ready. I know they're we're at least 2 to 3 months out. But yeah. When did you then make the jump to all grain? I mean, that's assuming that you do all grain. Do you do
Well,
all grain?
partial mash was
Partial
like
mash, okay.
I think the black eyed pea was a partial mash actually.
Okay.
And then I made the jump. I made my own mash tun. I still have it, by the way.
Nice.
Do you still use it
I
at all?
still
or-
use it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And when I don't remember when I made my full first grain, all grain batch. I think it was at the condo in West Rogers Park.
That's funny.
When we moved back from Napa, like 2
Yeah.
years later.
I asked that question and I don't really remember when I made the jump into all grain either. I think it was maybe a year after my brother-in-law and I had started brewing, and then we were finally like, okay, well, let's from what we're reading.
It was pretty quick for you because I remember, shortly after you guys had started doing the all grain stuff and Mike started getting psychotic about all of his stuff.
Buying everything, building everything.
Mhm.
Well, and that's when I started coming by and we started brewing together. And at that time, like I had only really ever done extract brewing. Like, it was just easier. And,
Sure.
when I was I was doing it on my mom's kitchen, like doing it on her stovetop. And then when I moved to the condo, like I just didn't have the space to do it.
Mhm.
And then when I got to the house is literally, that was 2017 is when I finally bought all the all grain stuff. I didn't need it before because we were, you guys had it. And so every time we wanted to brew, we'd go over by you guys and I'd bring a recipe and, we would do it on Mike's setup in his mom's basement. he did not live with his mom. He just brewed in her basement.
It's just where we brewed. That's where we stored our beer. I saw my mother-in-law a lot when I'd be like, hey, just stopping by for some beer. We're filling up the growler. Bye. I love you. I love my mother-in-law. She's great. It's and to be clear, none of us here are knocking extract brewing. Extract brewing is I've done since I've lived here in the house, which is now 4 years. I think my first or second year here, I did some dry malt extract tests, 15-minute boils, things like that. Extract brewing is just as fun as rewarding. It's just with all grain, or even partial mashing, you have a little bit more say, I guess, in what you want to put into the beer instead of it just being, well, here's golden pilsner extract or amber extract or whatever. You have a chance to the choice to choose all these other ingredients. It's like cooking. Actually, it's like I feel like extract is more like cooking, where all grain is more like baking. You have to you have a chance to be more precise and scientific with it instead of dumping everything in and being like, here we go, I got it, that's it.
But that's also not to say that these extracts don't have a place in all grain brewing, because we've added like DME to stuff that we've done, and it's a great supplement, especially when you're trying to boost your ABV, or you're looking for a specific flavor that you necessarily can't get from the grain.
Sure.
Those kits do, not the kits in general, but buying either the syrup or the powders, those do come into play really well.
Yeah, for sure. I used to like to use DME for making yeast starters, but I gave up on it. I haven't done yeast starters in a long time. So.
I wonder how many people.
I thought about it once. And I never thought about it again.
That's why I don't buy DME anymore. So.
Yeah. Mike's whole beaker his cylinders, everything is his stir plate, everything has collected dust. He still has it all, I believe, but I mean, so many starters we used, and now it just with the healthiness of all these yeasts, unless you're doing something huge and you're not going to buy 2 packs, which even at that, buying 2 packs of yeast almost does the same trick there.
Yeah, right.
Depending on the yeast, obviously. Anyway, okay, so fast forward, you get to brewing, you've got the bug. Did you do a lot of competitions ever before? Not even a lot, but have you competed before you and I met at the Jeff Park Lake Effect competition?
Right. Well, before that in Napa, I was a steward once. So I didn't enter a beer, but I helped run beers to the actual judges. The
Sip here,
judges.
sip there.
Yeah.
Here you go, judges.
Yeah.
COVID's not a thing yet. Here.
I did enter the I forget what state, maybe been Oregon or Washington or California, one of those West Coast. I did it's a women's beer competition.
Right.
I forget the name of it. I did enter something. This was not 8 years ago or 7 years ago, I think. And what's great is I didn't place or anything, but I got critiqued.
Sure.
Got the paperwork in the mail, and
that's awesome.
With the BJCP guideline, ratings and stuff, and so that was great feedback.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So just not to cut you off, but is that event called She Brew?
No, it is the Queen of the Valley Queen of the Valley something. Now that I think, something like that.
But just not to like to cut off not to cut off you, but also the She Brew is a all women homebrew competition that actually takes place in looks like Portland. So
they may have renamed it. I don't know. I haven't done it in a long time. I guess.
Yeah.
But
just shout out to that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that caught my eye, and then soon thereafter I joined the Homebrew Association for the last 3 years.
Nice.
And last year I entered the homebrew competition before the pandemic, and they canceled it after, of course, all the were sent.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. But
now,
go ahead.
No, sorry, I was gonna say I wanted to jump back to where we started, which was the beer that we're actually drinking here, because you and I were messaging each other. This isn't the beer that you just recently submitted, is it, for a competition?
No, it's not.
Which one was that?
That was the blueberry sour.
Yeah, that's when you and I were talking. That's when we were going back about our own sours, which I will bring you a cherry sour this weekend. Thank you very much. Okay. That sounded so good, and it was funny because I was like, this must be the time of year of where people kind of get out of the winter type beers, and you want to be reminded that there's bright and springy things on the way, and what better way than to have a fruited sour beer.
You know what? I made a watermelon and lime sour in November, so I don't really care.
Great, you just shot down my whole theory, Jackie.
Don't care. Hey, I make a lot of beer to pair with food, so that
I've seen a lot of pictures of some of the grub you guys got going on there, and there are days where I'm jealous and I'm like, I'd like to come over for that. I have yet to do that. I've yet to pair, except for when my friend Stephanie Fanny's we did an Oktoberfest party, and I made a Dunkelweiss beer.
It was delicious.
Did not plan ahead of time to make a Marson or an Oktoberfest. We're like, we'll just do a dark German wheat beer. And thank you, by the way, Brandon. And I was making homemade sausage for the first time. And what better way than to try to make brats for the first time, legit beer brats, where the beer that I brewed ended up in the sausage instead of just boiling it in beer and losing all the flavor. That was the first time that I made brats, and they were successful. And it was the first time where I made 5 gallons of beer that went in the same night, that it was all gone, and it blew my mind. I think I maybe had 2 pours of it before we brought it there because I wanted to test it, and we blew the keg that night, which was crazy. That's the only time I've paired beer with food, and for how much I cook, you would think I'd do it more, but I don't. I'm gonna follow in your footsteps now.
You better.
Sounds like a threat. All right, so now that we jumped forward and I mistaken which beers were for what, we're going back to the Pilsner. Do you have a name for it? Is it just Pilsner? Do you name your beers anything crazy? Is it embarrassing to share the name of this beer?
No. So funny? Today I said, honey, I said, I don't have a name for this Pilsner. And she's like, well, go pour one, bring it up, and let's talk about it. And I
said, what a great way just to have a beer. Why don't you bring some up? We'll sit around, we'll drink one, and we'll discuss the name. Man, she's smart.
We came up with, I'm not going to go into the story, but we came up with Poppin Pilz, which Poppin Pilz, get it?
Oh, I get it. That's
Right,
hilarious.
okay, yeah.
Now I kind of want to know where it comes from, but you don't have to. You don't have to. That's a
Let's
great
just
name.
say a trip to Walgreens was involved. That's all.
Nice. This I too will say I'm not a huge fan of Pilsners. I'm not. In fact, the first Pilsner I really liked was Super Pils from Five Rabbit because that doesn't taste, that is so hoppy to me. It's been a while since I've had it. Remember the first time I had it, I was like, what a delicious Pilsner. And it's like, 60 IBUs. It's basically like an IPA at that, a lagered IPA. I really like this. It's sweeter than I expected. But that comes with the style of beer. It is. I really like the aroma. I just had over the weekend, I was drinking some Metropolitan beers and I had their crap. I didn't have
crankshaft.
No.
Flywheels or pills.
No, this I don't know. It was definitely not a Pils. It was their Dortmunder. And the reason why I bring that up is because that's, I think whatever hops are used there might have been the same that you used here, because that is like pungent in a good way, that spicy kind of herbally aroma, and I attribute that to a Pilsner, and that hits it here. It smells awesome. I really like this.
All right, so I use 3 hops in this. Can you guess?
Absolutely not.
Let's do a guessing game.
No, this is the second. This, you know what? This sucks. This is like the second time I've been put on the spot on fucking show I host of Can I Guess the Hops? Okay, hold on.
By the way, you should have tasted this about a week ago. You would have been like, "Holy crap!"
Well, why didn't you tell me about it? Fuck.
No, it's really calmed down.
Oh, that's good.
So,
no, I mean that would have been fun to try. What are the hops? So here's the thing. These are all noble hops that are in here. Go through it.
Good job.
Stump the guest.
maybe I don't know.
Is there any Hallertau?
No.
No.
Oh.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with
that because I put that in one of my beers. So.
I'm gonna go with Saz.
Okay.
That has to be one.
You're good. Yeah. I gotta double check the third one. I can't remember.
Is Tetnang in there?
Yes.
Yo, yeah, baby.
US.
He's reading a list.
No. I said they're noble hops, and the noble hops that I know are.
Did you? Oh, I thought you looked up a list of noble hops.
No. The third one, is it a noble hop as well? Do you think?
I don't know, to be honest.
U.S. Gold?
No.
I don't know.
Nelson.
Nelson.
So that's why I think that's. I mean, when did you use it? When did you use it in the beer? Oh, by the way, I guess that's the thing I should have said. If you have your recipe, please have your recipe ready during the show.
So I used the most at the beginning of the boil of Nelson. Yeah, 1 ounce.
Holy shit.
And Saz at the same time, and then a little bit of Tet, and then Nelson at the end.
I think is Nelson. I don't think I've used Nelson before. Is Nelson more of a fruitier hop?
Yeah, it's got spice to it too.
Yeah, I think that as soon as, of course, things are put in people's heads for perspective or whatever. But
yeah.
Not perspective, but what I'm looking to say here.
Anyway, it's a dual purpose too.
Yeah, right. It is, and the fruitiness is nice. The bitterness is nice. That would be a lot of, because it is pretty bitter. It is. I would say it's up there for kind of bitter for. Yeah, I know, Brandon. As you show me your bottle, here we go. Yes. By the way, you will get these bottles back. It was very generous of you, by the way, to fill up that
I'm very protective of my bottles.
I don't blame you, because I used to have like a whole case of bottles. Brandon, you may have one of my bottles and that's it. Don't like the bottle,
I don't want it back now.
Yep. Now you really know Brandon. That's
some DNA.
It's pretty okay. It's really bitter for. I don't want to say really bitter. It's pretty bitter for a Pilsner, and this is my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's like 40
40 IBUs. Okay. And what's the alcohol on here?
5.9.
So it's up there as well.
Yeah.
Brandon's wasted.
It's not overly bitter. It's not.
No.
It's
nice.
What's great about it is when you say it's a Pilsner and I drink it, it's like I enjoy it. And I once you said, the IBUs on it, like I get that, but like that wasn't what I was taking away from it. Like I was getting a lot of that, the malt character and like, the subtle hoppiness, the bitterness, like it's there, but like I enjoy the front end of this beer so much. It's like super clean. Like
yes, it's clear.
That was when I pulled the bottle out. I got in the car and I started to drive away, and then I pulled the bottle out and I looked at it. I was like, "Holy cow!" And I threw it back in because I didn't want like a cop to see me driving around with a whole little bottle in my hand. I was like,
"You're my podcast officer. Don't worry, it's homebrew."
You want to be on the episode tonight? Don't worry. Don't give me a ticket.
Tony, you mentioned it was a little sweet. I think it's sweet in the front a little bit, and then it finishes dry and clean.
Definitely. And
right?
I was just going to say that, as Brandon was saying, they like, the up front of it. It's not like coinly sweet by any means, but there's a nice sweetness to it, like cereally. And then at the end, it's dry, and that I think that bitterness, dare I say it, helps balance this beer. I don't use the word balance enough.
It's
awesome.
It makes it something like, I mean, we're on this call and we both finished that bottle like fairly quickly, so
it's not uncommon for us to do that. But there's beers that we've had on this show that I have not finished because I didn't.
Not that they weren't great, but they weren't so easy drinking.
Yeah, and
this is like super easy drinking.
But this is just our way to, hey, do you want to come back on the show? Just give us more beer. JK.
So keep brewing this, and then on a 90-degree day, we can all get together and sit in the yard.
Yeah, well, now see this
we should do a sour together, I think.
That sounds awesome. That'd be a lot of fun. Brandon, you haven't actually done a sour yet, right?
Nope.
Get ready to live. Yeah, I would love to combine our sour making beers. I still do want to get together and brew some type of beer. I don't know if I want to drink this like sitting in the sun hot summer day. I think I want to drink this. The beer's starting to hit me. I want to drink this sitting in my yard on a summer evening, as it's kind of cooling off, and now I want to maybe up the ABV a little bit on my drinking. But it's very good. It's very, very tasty. It is refreshing. It hits everything that I like about a Pilsner, and I really appreciate you sharing it with us.
I think it is better than a Coors Light or a Bud Light
or a Bud Heavy, or a Coors Banquet. Coors Banquet. Now we're pushing it. No, I'm joking. This is outstanding. And
if you want to be a High Life, you got problems.
Hey man, High Life's my jam.
Champagne of beers.
High Life's my jam, Jackie. I love it.
Never. You know what? I haven't had it in a long time. I gotta revisit just for the heck of it. But.
You know what? When we decide to get together, we make time to brew. I'm bringing over some High Lifes, or if you're coming here, we're going to Brandon's. High Lifes are coming with me.
When we were brewing, that's what we used to do. We High Life was what you would drink.
Yeah, because it used to originally our brew days used to be. It's a good thing, Jackie, that you didn't come to our brew days in the past when I had first invited you, because you were like, these guys are morons. It's basically a fucking bottle share, and let's see if whatever they're brewing even turns out to be beer. Because there was one time we were brewing a beer and we all forgot the hop schedule and no one had a timer going.
How did that turn out?
Don't remember. Not good. It did not turn out good. That beer.
We stayed drunk the entire time it fermented, so we had no idea what was
we drank a lot of beers. Yeah, so that ended. But yeah, we've done the Coors Light, we've done the High Life. You gotta, or we wait to drink, better beers when the boil starts. That's when you can start really getting into, having a beer or two. Now, with that being said, I'm not just gonna, go over your beer here, but we do have another beer to drink, which is not yours, which we're happy that we were able to at least get you some. It's the second time this beer is making its appearance on this show, which is
is it? Did we have it before on the show?
Yeah, man. Actually, it was a year ago, like to the day that April 9th, when I posted almost 2 years. It was episode number 9, Shaggy Tail Pale Ale, or Tony's mic is too loud. People have heard us talk about this beer numerous times. This beer, oh man, boy, Brandon, right off the bat, I just opened up the bottle. I got like a lot of hoppiness, nice hop aroma. Brandon, I'm gonna let you explain it. I know you're getting some right now. You were worried about carbonation. Why did I just pour this full glass? But I got a decent head on it for it being in there, and you just kegged this and force carbonated it recently, so I'm not expecting any clarity on this anytime soon. But I mean, it's not like a hazy beer.
Mm-hmm.
It smells. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
Do you want your bottle back?
Actually, you can hand that.
Yeah,
We will keep giving you beer in this bottle because these little caps are great. We've used this now for the show all year. It's pretty great. If you hang on to it, that'd be great. If not,
I will. No, I will. These will not go.
If you keep one, we keep one of yours. That's how it goes. 1 for 1, Jackie. 1 for 1.
I can deal. That's fine.
Brandon, right off the bat, like I said, I opened it up. The aroma on there, kind of it smells kind of like I got a whole bunch of hop aroma off when I opened the bottle in the glass. Kind of smells a little young. Like I don't. There's not a lot of hoppiness. It could also be because I was drinking that Pilsner, and it just maybe the glass I'm using. But the first sip I took, this is probably the better version of this beer that you've made so far.
Oh, thank you.
I like the clean flavor.
Yeah, this is not overly bitter. There's a nice fruitiness to it. I like that a lot about it. And I know you're worried about carbonation. Maybe it's a tad undercarbonated, but I don't know how much. Maybe that's why I'm not getting a lot of hop scent. I don't know if you guys want to chime in on that. I'm gonna swirl it around and see what
Brandon, you said how long have you been making this particular beer?
So the first time we had done it was in 2017. We did it again. So it ended up being the beer we made for our housewarming party. And that was the first time I ever had a keg go on once I tapped it, because it was like 2 hours into our housewarming party and it was gone. And
I had left, so you couldn't blame it on me.
Yeah,
like it wasn't even gracious. My fault.
Yeah, so we were gracious, or we weren't gracious. The guys at Alman were gracious enough to allow us to come and brew this at their brewery on their pilot system, and we did like, I don't know, how many gallons did we do? Like it was like 20 gallons or something like that.
Yeah, because we did 4. We did 20 gallons of it.
And so their version that we did there, like they just are more meticulous about, aerating the beers with CO2 and kind of like moving the hops around. So like that one was like super hoppy. So we served that at our wedding. And then I guess we brewed it again. It seems like if we had an episode on it.
We did. You did it on your own when I had my portage. It's funny because we called it Shaggy Tail Pale Ale or Tony's Mike's Too Loud, but we also drank my Portage Park Pale Ale on it as well.
So the original concept of this beer was when I was trying to think of a beer I wanted to brew, I was drinking Alpha King at the time. And I was like, man, I really like that it's a pale ale and it's hoppy. It's a hoppy pale ale. So I did look up some stuff to see kind of if there was like clone recipes or whatever. And this is the first recipe that I ever, like, I took what I saw was kind of a quote unquote clone, and I adjusted it to kind of what I thought I would like, and kind of came up with this. So yeah, it was the first recipe I ever tweaked, I guess, to get something. So
yeah, and the one for your housewarming was very good. You and Mike did that. The one at Ailman, because of their setup and how we had adjusted it, they're using Bearsmith as well. It was very hoppy. It almost tasted like a triple IPA as far as the hoppiness is concerned. Still very good, but I think 2 kegs of it ended up at my house at one point at the end of the after
Possibly.
everything. Yeah, which we ended up drinking through. But this to me, man, this is really good. And I was really excited for you to do this on your setup. I'm looking forward to how it's going to taste when it sits for a little bit. I mean, you just kegged it and you force carbonated it and everything. So it's, there's still a little bit of melding of flavors I think needs to come together with it, but it's not overly bitter. This drinks like a pale ale. There's like a candied fruit to it, not in like an off, for me at least, not an off flavor in there. What hops did you use, Brandon? And Jackie, I just thought of another question to ask you about your Pilsner. Oh, wait, hold on. Before
You want to ask her what hops in there?
yeah. Jackie, welcome to the game. I'm your host, Tony. What hops did Brandon use in the Shaggy Tail Pale Ale? Because I just remembered them.
I feel like it's a classic combination of some Centennial or Cascade or both, with possibly some Citra. But I'm just throwing stuff
So
out there.
you did get Centennial right.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I was gonna say. I knew Centennial was in there.
So it starts with
Azaka.
at the beginning of the at the
You went
beginning
crazy with it.
at the beginning of the boil, it's an ounce of Columbus
Mm-hmm.
or Tomahawk,
Yeah.
as they say.
GTZ, baby.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna
30
say that.
30 minutes in, it's a half ounce of Warrior. 5 minutes left is an ounce of Centennial. And then it's dry hopped with a half ounce of Centennial and an ounce of Warrior.
Which is funny, like I rereading this recipe. I don't know many beers that are dry hopped with Warrior. Warrior is definitely like
It's like in the beginning.
Yeah, that's a bittering, which is I
Yeah.
think if there was one thing, that's why I'm not getting a lot of hop aroma. Like when I
Mhm.
first opened it, sure, that little burst of Centennial and that fruitiness, and why there's nothing on there now. But I thought for sure that there was. I did remember Centennial. I remember CTZ. I did think there was Citra in here. There's not. I went back to the pills.
I just get a little lemony note, but I don't know if it's like the youngness of the beer.
That's yeah. I think that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. It might be the beer being young, if there's lemony, and then maybe it'll balance out or mellow out a little bit. We'll just have this nice fruity, piney balance of bitterness to it. Brandon, I would say that if you do anything different for it next time, switch up the aroma hops, the dry hopping. Maybe just go all Centennial in, or throw something else in there that would give you something you want.
Yeah, and I think, and so what I wanted to do with this beer too is same recipe, but I do want to do variations of it. Like this is one I really want to sit on mango. Like I want to, ferment it.
Jackie, your response was like, "Who doesn't?"
No. And I see like a Huel.
Great.
I don't know how you say it. Huel melon.
Yeah, it's Huel melon.
Yeah.
Is it Huel melon? Yeah.
Huel.
Yeah, I think so.
Every time I hear Huel, I think of Breaking Bad. Huel.
I just want to lay on this money.
Good times.
Yeah, mango I think would be good. Brandon, you're on a mango kick right now, man.
Yep.
Yeah, your mango habanero hot sauce. Could have gave Jackie some of your hot sauce if you had some.
Yeah.
Just thought about that.
Well,
now.
maybe next time I'll give you a little extra love in the bag. And
I gotta bring
friends.
I gotta bring a bottle, your bottle back. So I get a bottle of hot sauce with your name on it.
All right.
It is very good. It's nice. I put it on my eggs. It's tasty. It's sweet and not overly spicy. I was gonna ask you, Jackie, what was your grain bill for the Pilsner?
Oh, yeah.
And was there any like specific? Did you have something in mind that inspired you to make this type of beer? Or you're like, I want to do a classic Pilsner, or I want to do a Pilsner, maybe not classic, and just this is how I'm going to come with this recipe.
So I used about 9.5 pounds of Pilsner malt. I had a 50-pound bag that I got. Let me tell you, Right Brew out of Wisconsin, the best place to buy any ingredients, hops, equipment.
All right.
Have you ever heard of it?
Not at all.
No.
Oh my God, guy, RITEBREW.
Brandon, write that down. Wait, Clark's not
Seriously.
here. Clark's supposed to fucking write that down. Damn it. Clark's the guy who writes down everything.
He's the secretary.
Yeah, pretty much. We have a little
Yeah.
sound clip for him that is right on
Cool.
top of that roast.
Anyway,
Sorry.
if
Yeah, I pull
that
up your
place
site.
is the best as far as buying 50-pound bags and shipping included, like ridiculous.
Right on.
So really good. Anywho, I use 9.5 pounds of Pilsner malt, and which I use a lot for sour beers too, and then half a pound of white wheat malt. I don't know.
Interesting.
I think I had that left over, and I'm like, it measured out to
It's
about
going
half a
in.
pound.
It's going in.
Yeah, I just did it.
That helps with the body, I'm assuming, and maybe
Yeah. Mhm. And I wanted to keep it, lighter, like pea colored.
because when you're thinking of Pilsner, you're thinking of pee.
That's right.
That could be, you know what? if you market this beer for Poppin Pilz, because when you're thinking of Poppin Pilz, when you're thinking of Pilsner, you're thinking of pee.
You're thinking of a clean pea. This will be edited appropriately, right?
Absolutely not. And what? Anything else that you threw in there? So you got the Pilsner?
those two malts.
That's it. There's no. So
Mhm.
there's no. You have no other adjuncts in there, like no corn, no rice.
No, and it has a
Wow.
little
I don't
bit of
remember
corny
eating corn.
flavor. But
I was gonna say. I thought for sure corn. I thought for sure corn
God, I
was gonna
can't
be in
stand
there.
working with maize. I don't like cream. I really don't. I don't like cream ales. Forget spotted cow. Go
Whoa.
Sorry, Wisconsin.
There it is. That's
Even though I have
New glass.
but that's not the
glass.
only
I
beer they
noticed that.
make.
I
Yeah.
noticed that.
Well, I don't know. Did you guys notice what I'm drinking the pale ale out of? Huh?
Look at that.
The old lake effect glass, baby.
Yep.
Wow, that's funny. So, that's an interesting approach to a pilsner. I like it. That's pretty cool. That's a cool grain bill, and the hops that also threw me for a loop. It's funny that you. So what I was gonna say was, what was your inspiration? Did you have an inspiration in mind for this type of pilsner, or are you just like, fuck this, I'm gonna make a pilsner, and this is what I'm gonna do?
I looked up a bunch of recipes. I looked at the National Homebrew Association. If you remember, you can log in and you can get some great recipes.
Oh, the
ideas.
American AHA, baby.
American Homebrew,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
Proud members.
Yes, we are.
and I just kind of tweaked it from there.
Yeah,
I didn't want to buy anything,
No.
and I already had the Nelson, the Saaz, for some other things.
I feel like that's what a lot of home brewers do is, or at least the ones that I know, all of us, that we look at some recipes, like Brand, you said the same thing for the Shaggy Tail, and any other recipe that I haven't made before. I'm like, okay, so what's everybody doing and what's everybody using, and what is something that's common? And then, okay, so that seems to be like a common base, and then a common adjunct and a common hop.
Mm-hmm.
If I know a little bit about those ingredients, what is it that I like, or if I don't like about it, but I like everything else, where can you make your adjustment? What yeast did you use for this? Was it a dry yeast or a liquid?
Dry yeast, yeah. I used Cephale. I say Cephale just because it's.
I don't care how anybody pronounces it. It's always funny to me.
The K. 7.
Yes. I know which one you're talking about, because
it's a little green packet.
That one I think is also shit. It's not. Is it okay? I haven't used that one. I'm thinking of the as I always say safe and not SAF, but I think it's like SAF. The SAF lager is what I've used, because that one, if you look at the package, it shows you can ferment it, in higher temperatures, like in the 70s, which is when I started doing the warm fermenting, just warm lagers, basically.
I think this one's newer, a little bit newer.
Let's check it out.
And on the Right Brew site, if you buy like 10 packs, you get a discount. So I'm like, I'll get some lager yeast.
All right,
sure.
so we've got what is it called? Right what?
Right Brew.
So we got Right Brew, yeah.
Mhm.
Brandon's there.
Yeah,
So
there it
we
is.
got Right Brew and Northern Brewer. Jackie, we're gonna hire you to become the person that we can get some sponsors because
Yeah.
It's a
people
bargain
wanted
bin.
to. We started asking for sponsors during a pandemic, so we knew we weren't going to get anybody to sponsor us during it. We're gonna hire you to come help us out to get Right Brew. And Northern Brewer. See if we get some sponsors. No, I want to check those guys out. We have a couple.
No, seriously,
of, homebrew
they're
places.
great, and they
Yep.
ship out like the day of if you get it in before.
I just looked at how much a 50-pound bag of just base malt, which I think was maybe 2-row, and
Mhm.
spoiler alert, it was $37.
No, it's not that much.
Really? No,
Oh,
that is
come
still dude, okay. Hold on. All right, this part I might edit. This is Breeze Distiller's malt. What a dumbass I am.
If you want
That's
to make
way.
some.
I'm not distilling. Sorry. That was a lie.
No,
I was
well,
really
it doesn't
excited.
matter. 50 pounds is 50 pounds.
Right. But so the Breeze 2-row 50-pound bag. It says.
Mhm.
It's $37. $37, which $37 is crazy cheap because all the local homebrew shops, the LHBS, in our area, it's $50 for a 50-pound bag or $49.99 for a 50-pound bag.
Yeah.
So if I shipping and you're grabbing a whole bunch of stuff, you want, knowing that the money is going to shipping, and which means that the money is really going to, covering the shipping costs, and that homebrew shop is gonna get a little kickback from that too, because I mean, when you're paying for shipping for a company as my real job is a warehouse assistant manager for shipping and receiving, so I know this stuff. You tack on a little bit extra to cover, insurance costs, things like that for shipping things. You don't know how much it's going to be.
Yeah.
That money goes to them, and I'm paying, a little bit less for my grain and goes to shipping. I'll take that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's my warehouse rant for this episode. And it's going to be a new feature on each episode. Tony's warehouse rants. Don't you dare mute me. Looks like you're about to mute me. I'm gonna be so pissed if that happens. That'll be 2 episodes. Thank you. Brandon, what yeast did you use for what yeast did you use for the pale ale?
USO5.
USO5. So we're a dry yeast crew. Jackie, do you normally use dry yeast or do you use liquid yeast at all?
Dry. That's
dry.
It's the best value, and it works just as well.
Yeah.
5 is my go-to.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, and the first time I ever used wet yeast, I think, was on that the triple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were freaking out. He was freaking out
like,
because
why is it not doing anything? And then it's funny because my fermentation bucket actually has like things on the side, and I was reading it when I was pitching for this Shaggy Tail, and it says, wet yeast takes a little bit longer to activate. Dry yeast, you may see activation within like 8 to 12 hours, which made sense. So
unless it's Kvike, you got a Kvike yeast, that sucker takes off. I love it.
I mean, it made that beer phenomenal. That was a good beer.
It was a good one. Yeah, we probably should have prepared better and had more beer for you, Jackie, but I haven't brewed in a while, so I'm gonna fix that. I'm busy. The next beer, I'm going back to the Goza, the lime Goza. So you're the first person to get some of that for sure. I'm just gonna fill up a growler and bring it to you right away. But I got the cherry beer. I'm gonna fill up for you, drop you a bottle off this week. It's only gonna be a 12-ounce bottle though. I hope that's okay because you gave us wine bottles full of your Pilsner.
It evens out. It's totally fine.
Perfect. Do you have anything planned? So are you doing any competitions this year other than the blueberry sour that you
other than I call it the Blue Star. I looked at the calendar on the homebrew thing association. No, not really. I've got in the hopper, I've got a rye wine that I need to bottle.
Oh boy.
It's been sitting for 6 months.
Holy moly.
And I have right now just a West Coast beer, that Citra and Simcoe.
Oh, that's such a class.
Yeah.
I would love to, as much as I loved your Pilsner, and when I brew again, I will be happy to continue trading beers with you, because recently we were talking, I still really do love hazy IPAs, and I will ask your opinion on that in a sec. Actually, what's your opinion on hazy IPAs?
Hit or miss.
Yeah.
I don't seek them out, but
You're like
when they're made by certain people, like a Half Acre or Pipeworks, then I'll try it out, or I'll share like a 4-pack with somebody at work, and yeah, usually I'm stuck with the other one who wants to drink it, but I don't like the juice. I don't need it to taste like orange juice.
Got it. No, and Brandon's pretty much the same way. He won't turn it down, but he's not seeking it out. I'm speaking for you, Brandon. Sorry. I Clark and I both thoroughly enjoy the hazy IPAs, but I hit all last year. It was the year of the juice for Tony, and I did formulate a hazy IPA, New England IPA recipe that I've come to really like. It's just super expensive to make. I mean, it's like $60 for an IPA, and it's like it shouldn't be that much. But I hit the hazy wall and and I have said this, I think, at the beginning of the year, where I've just kind of really fallen in love with the idea of having just straight up IPAs, American IPAs, West Coast IPAs. That doesn't mean I'm not still going to, occasionally be like, there's a hazy, grab that. But I'm not craving it as much as I used to. And there are plenty of delicious IPAs out there that are just getting overlooked and sitting on the shelf. We've said it before. I mean, Ailman makes a really good IPA, and Rheingeist has an awesome IPA.
The Truth.
We are big fans of the Truth.
Yeah, I love
those guys. When they were on the show, was a lot of fun, and I did see that Brandon, I almost grabbed it. They have 2 more beers now available in Chicago that I saw. So a fruited sour, and then another. Yes, the Shandy, which is with grapefruit juice and orange juice.
Did you see they now have a hotline that you can call or text?
I saw that.
Thank God, I did not
specifically for Chicago people, because they don't have the presence here, and they can't go to bars or whatever. So it's
beautiful
like, hey,
marketing.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Fucking smart. Well, I'm the Simcoe and Citra, Simcoe and Citra, you said, for your West Coast IPA, correct? That is oh man, that's I like that combination for a pale ale too. I think that's one of the combinations I've done for my Portage Park Pale Ale that I have like 14 different versions of now, and now I just kind of have to figure it out what it is that I like about it. I think, to be honest, I think I want to throw everything away and just start over, because I don't know. I can't find the version of it that I'm like, this is it. I just want one solid pale ale recipe that I want to brew all the time. I don't have it yet.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, and I cannot rein myself in to not try other things.
Yeah, and I mean, even if I wanted to keep trying things, I would just have, okay, this one I did right, this one I love, this is what I can always go to, but I want to try other ones. But I know that this one is solid, and this is when I know I want to brew a pale ale. This is the one. This is the one I'm going to do. Jackie, are you a fan of stouts?
Yes.
Are you a fan of sweet stouts?
Yes.
Are you a fan of sweet stouts that have cinnamon rolls maybe made with them at one point?
Negative.
Okay, you're not. Are you not a damn? So are you not a fan of cinnamon?
I like cinnamon rolls.
Do you like cinnamon in a stout?
No.
Shit. Well, then we're not giving you the beer. I was gonna say we do have our cinnamon stout, so cinnamon roll stout. Next time. I was just trying to think of another beer I could give you.
That's okay.
Okay. Well, next time we'll keep on brewing and keep you.
No fuss, no muss. I like imperial stouts, Russian imperial, whatever. Baltic.
Do you like
porters? But I don't want the flavor, the extra. I don't care for the Mexican chocolate additive.
I know. Do you like barrel aged stuff at all?
Yes.
Okay, so you do like barrel aged stuff, but so barrel aged with all the other crap. Okay, no.
Give it to me clean and pure like that.
Okay, I can respect that, and I do, and I will uphold that thought and feeling. Well, you guys, both beers, in my opinion, are fantastic. They're really good. I think they represent the styles very well. Jackie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I feel like since it's been, building up to having this conversation of being a home brewer, I didn't ask a lot of questions that I wanted to, that I will remember later, like, fuck, man, I wanted to get to this and I didn't talk about that. So this is you being put on check that you will be called in to come back on. And maybe the next time will be something that we all brew together.
That'd be cool.
Or
Can I get that? Can I get that in writing, please?
Absolutely not. Clark's not here to make anything official. So no, actually, what Brandon and I have we yet to do.
I'm right on top of that road.
Oh, but he's not here to do that.
I know.
We've yet to do just straight up for all the episodes, and I say all like there's so many. This is like 53 or 54. We have not covered an American IPA. We have not just had an episode about American IPAs. We've done New England IPAs. We've done a bunch of other styles and talked about a whole bunch of breweries, but we've never just done an American IPA episode. And I'd like to maybe brew some or do a comparison. And plus, you're also welcome to just join us if you want to have a beer with us sometime.
I'd be in for the like a guest commentary thing. That'd be cool.
Awesome. That would be fun. Do you want people to follow you on social media at all? Do you have a social media presence that you're like, hey, here's my dog?
I do have a here's my dog page, but
do you want to promote that at all? This is where we allow people, if you have something you want to share, this is where you share it. If you don't, kudos to you not being sucked into the matrix like myself.
Well, I do have a page that I post on occasionally. I'm all about cocktails, beer, and wine, and my social media is the Sip Artist.
Wait a minute. Why am I just learning about this now? This could have been like a pre-episode thing. By the way, Tone, you can call me Tone now. We're on that. And I'll call you Jack, Tone and Jack. No,
that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Jack feels weird.
You can call me JB or Jackie. It's fine.
JB. Oh, I used to have I still have a friend, not used to. I still have a friend named JB, but I barely talk to him. So you're the JB now.
All right.
JB, I love it. All right. So what is this? What is this all about? What is this? Sip Artist?
Yeah, Sip Artist. So basically I post classic cocktails, my recipes, pictures of my cocktails. I can host via Zoom or in person my skills, where you can learn about that. So in my real job, I tell people what they should drink with their food, and whether it be wine, beer, or spirits.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why wasn't you buried the lead in right there? Like, why wasn't this one of the first things? Okay, so
you should have sent a list of questions before we had this.
JB, listen. We don't really have a list of questions. We have ideas of things that we want to talk about.
What kind of production company is this?
There's no production.
Non-existent.
It's just me and Brandon flying by the seat of our pants at all times. Look, okay, so you've given us a reason even more now to have you come back. That's awesome. And where because I was blown away by this information. Where is it that people can find you? Say it one more time, please.
Twitter, the Sip Artist, Instagram as well, and also Facebook. Same
Good.
Domain.
We will we'll the link is in the episode for everybody listening. It is in there where you can find JB, my new best friend. I'm going to contact you for a lot of stuff in the summer and be like, look, having people over. Let's figure this out. Yeah. That's exciting. That's awesome. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. We've only done one thing with spirits on this episode, and we were intoxicated and drank Weller and incoherently discussed it. I don't know if you got a chance to hear that one. I
can make it make sense.
That'd be great. That would be great. Well, Jackie, thank you again for joining us. The beer is fantastic. We really appreciate it. And everybody go ahead and check out the Sip Artist.
Yes,
I got it right. I feel so much better.
Brandon, thank you for the beer. It was really great.
You're welcome.
Still is. Yeah.
Fantastic. And we look forward to doing this again. We'll trade some beers, and obviously I'll be in touch with you tomorrow because I'm going to drop off a beer this weekend, and at least my bottle. Brandon's going to figure that out. No, I'll get his bottle from him on Saturday.
Hey, 1 for 1. It's cool.
Well, I got to give him his bottle back, so technically we'll do 2 for 2. Brandon, I love you, man.
Love you too, bud.
And thank you, everybody, for listening to the Malting Hour. We appreciate it. We see all you new followers. We see all you new listeners. We appreciate it. It's pretty cool. You make us feel good. Then we're not wasting our time on a Thursday night. I mean, we're not wasting time. We're just talking. The whole idea was the show was to sit around and drink with friends and people who wanted to talk about booze. So
we're literally doing what we would normally do, but recording it.
Exactly. Tonight's the perfect example. So, Jackie, thank you again. Brandon,
Cheers.
see you later.
Yeah,
bye,
thanks,
everybody.
Jackie.
Good night. Thanks.
Cheers.
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us on social media platforms individually. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, on Untapped, BDub Drinks Beer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Asa Phelps Chicago. On Twitter, The Asa Phelps Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all 3. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.